Can you enable screen share for me?
But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I have kissed honeyed lips, felt the healing fingertips. It burned me like fire, with fire. This burning desire. I have spoken with the tongue of angels. I have held the hand of the devil, was warm in the night. I was cold as a stone, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I believe in the kingdom come, when all the colors will bleed into one, bleed into one. But yes, I'm still running. You broke the bonds, loose the chain, carried the cross of my shame. You know I believe it, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Good morning. Welcome again to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church in Shreveport. It's autumn, even when it doesn't feel like it. It's a beautiful day here, and I hope it is with you wherever you are. This is a church built on covenant, not creed. We don't have to think alike to love alike, but we do make our promise to try to walk through the world with compassion and reason, and to work for justice and fairness and care of the earth. All of those things said, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us, you're always welcome. I would like to invite one of our board members this morning, Kathy Osuch, to share some announcements as we front load this with information, trying to keep you informed about what's going on around here.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Okay, is it my turn? Okay. Good morning. I'm Kathy Osuch, and first I'd like to honor again our Volunteer of the Month, Brittany Turner, who, if you've been watching this Zoom service during the pandemic, you have, and we all have Brittany to thank. She was a new member in March of 2020, and she stepped up to help us present this great service. She's also an activist, has done a anti-racism service for the church, and just all around great person. So we all need to thank Brittany for lots of reasons. Next Saturday, two really fun things. Well, two things are going on at All Souls. One is going to be a Druid ritual for Samhain in our around the fire circle at 3 p.m. and mask required. And then a trunk or treat at 5 o'clock, a Halloween, do-it-yourself Halloween carnival, mask required, and but welcome to everyone. Our giveaway, the plate for October, is Together Louisiana. It's been doing a lot of things to address issues in Louisiana as a group of organizations and churches that try and deal with problems particular to Louisiana, giving direct assistance to individuals and families who have fallen through the cracks and working on systemic change. So there's a link in our on the website to donate if you would like to. Adult religious education has returned starting this morning at 9 o'clock. So you missed it for this week, but work on it next week. We're trying to do some different things with the children's religious education, and check with the email. All ages are invited to the Druid Samhain ritual at 3 and the trunk or treat. Zoom lunch. There's lots of, we're trying to get together in person. If you're interested, contact me. Barbara's still continuing her Monday night Zoom pod. And just in general, check all the great things being mentioned and just offered on our weekly website. Thank you. I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
Wow, cool intro this morning. Thanks, Reverend Barbara. And thank you, Kathy. I just want to thank you for lifting up the events for next week. For next Saturday, the Druids are having their Samhain ritual, which is the turning of the year in the pagan calendar. And it's a very moving ritual, and it's serious. It's an honoring of the dead. This is the time of year when the veil between the living and the dead is thought to be the thinnest, and however you feel about that, it's a time to honor our past, honor our ancestors, honor those we've lost, whether a long time ago or more recently, to take some time to honor those. So that is a spiritual service. It's also a learning experience. The Druids are wonderful about teaching about their rituals as they do them, and yet still preserving that reverence of context. And that is all ages are invited. And then of course trunk or treat will start at 5 o'clock. And you're welcome to kind of use that hour in between to decorate your car. And like I told the adults in adult RE this morning, come whether you have kids or not, buy a bag of candy, decorate your car as simply or as elaborately as you want to, wear a costume as simple or elaborate as you want to wear, but come and hang out and see each other safely, masked. But let's spend some time outdoors in person. It'll be fun. Also wanted to tell you about an event that is coming up this Friday. It's a Zoom event. It's sponsored by Texas A&M of Texarkana, and it is in honor of LGBTQ Awareness Month. The speaker will be our own Reverend Barbara, and it will be at 1 o'clock on Friday. And I think there is a flyer with a Zoom link going into the chat very soon, if it's not already there. So I think that is all I have for today. Thanks.
Truth is simple, but seldom ever seen.
Thank you all. Miss Susan will be helping me with that talk Friday. It's trying to talk about, they are trying to talk about LGBTQ plus stuff in light of different religions. And so they asked Unitarian Universalists to participate because we do have a bit of non-typical stance on a lot of that. Anyway, I hope you will come if you'd like. Thank you all for sharing, Kathy and Susan, and let us enter now a spirit of worship, letting our shoulders fall away from our ears and preparing ourselves to elevate and contemplate matters of worth, which is the Old English root of the word worship. We seekers on a quest to discover truth and meaning. Sometimes we think we've found it, wrapped up, glimmering with newness, straight off the intellectual assembly line. All the answers right here for us. And others, if they'd only listen. But truth has a way of coming in disguise, sometimes wearing rags and sometimes finery, but so often cloaked from our immediate sight. And sometimes that which we have rejected, that which we have let go of, or decided was only for others, but not us. Those things can be our teacher. Let our time of worship be an acknowledgement of the never-ending journey toward truth and meaning, and our appreciation of those we learn from along the way. I would like to invite Cole Loggins, who grew up in this church, to share the first part of our chalice lighting this morning.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Hopefully I have come up appropriately. Here we are. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of the helping hands. Thank you so much.
Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you both. Thank you, Cole, and thank you, Susan. Here we light our chalice. In our current scientific understanding of the origins of the universe, the light of everything that exploded from not quite nothing is the light that became the maybe everything of which we are barely a part. That light we now kindle here will become a light for each of us to carry forth as we find our way through the shadows on our path. Let us be grateful for the light in our lives, even as we honor the dark from which the light came. I would invite our board person, Kathy Osich, back to lead us in our unison affirmation this morning. I invite you to please say it with us and perhaps rise in body or spirit to get back in the habit.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other.
Well, y'all, I have not so much a story this morning as a bunch of images I want to share. I can't get the thing off the top so that I can get to my this is new for me. There's a taskbar at the top that won't let me see my page. Let me try to get it up there anyway. Can y'all see that? Okay. There are a bunch of images here that if you look at more than once, you can see more than one thing. I like to start with this one because one of the things you can see when you look at it is a chalice. Is that what you saw first? If that's all you see, look a little harder. There are faces there too, you can find. There's another one. You can do the same thing with it and try to switch back and forth some. Another chalice. This one's not a chalice, but it is the flame, our shared flame. Now, what do you see first here? A young woman or an older one? And whichever one you see, try to see the other one. We are practicing looking at things different ways and finding what we don't see at the beginning. Here's another one. What do you see first? Can you see the other image? Here, what do you see first, the man or the woman? Trees or the young face? The scene with the people standing by the lake or the baby? What do you see first here? The trees or the cat? How about here? A lion and an ape and the trees. Here you can see a monkey or you can see a lion. What do you see first? The apple or the butterfly? Or the worm? The apple or the faces? I think these are kind of upside down chess pieces. But do you see the people talking or the chess pieces first? On this, do you see the bridge or the ships first? And is it different if we change the color of the scene? What you see first? Here, do you see the alligator or the boat? The cocker spaniel or the two animals in love? The sheep and the houses and the meadow or the old man's face? The little girl with the butterfly and strawberry or the skull? How about now? Do you see the skull first or the two people riding a sleigh? How about now? The woman at the mirror or the skull? The woman or the skull? What do you see first here? The car, the binoculars, or the letter A? There are websites that I will read for you or show on the screen at the end of the presentation that you can go to, and they say that what we see first can say a lot about our personality. So if you kind of remember what you see first as we go through, you can go back to those websites and learn maybe about yourself. What do you see first? The zebras or the lion? Can you see the horse head? How many cows do you see, or how many bulls do you see? There are 3 here. What do you see first? The skull or the 3 people? What do you see first? The chalice or 2 people? Or 3 people? Or 5 people? How many animals do you see? How many legs do you see? Now, how many legs do you see? Sometimes things can be difficult to decipher. We get mixed signals, and we try to make sense out of things that may be paradoxes. Does it help if we color the parts to see how many legs are there? Depends on how you color what you color. Are these lines the same length? They don't look like it, but they are. How about this? Are the yellow lines the same length? What we see, what our eyes tell us can be deceitful. Are these 2 lines, the one up and down and the one side to side, the same length? They are. See? How things interact can make them seem other than they are. How about this? Are these lines parallel? That means the same distance apart all the way up and down. They are, but they don't look that way. How about these? It's almost impossible for me to see these parallel. They really look like they're not, but they are. It's a little bit easier to see if we take the color out. This one you may have to squint your eyes at and back off some, but there's an animal hidden in what you're looking at. Can you see it? Which direction is the flow of this triangle going? Does it make sense? Can it be the way that it looks? Or is it also a paradox? And here's one in 3D. The man that made that showed the solution, but I didn't include it. I'm gonna foil that. I'm not going to foil that one for you. Is this cat going up the stairs or down the stairs? If you kind of blink your eyes back and forth or blink them a lot, you can make this cat change directions and start turning the other direction. Can you see it? Can you make yourself see both directions as the truth? Sometimes we have to work at seeing things from another perspective. Is this image something that's still? Can you make your eyes not see it moving? I don't know that I can. Here's another one. Do these look like they're turning? I don't think they have a good explanation yet of why that our minds do that with images like this. But this image is sitting perfectly still on your page. So here are some of the websites you can look at if you want to decipher what you see first. Might suggest about your personality. I thought they were kind of insightful. But I think it's good for us to practice seeing things another way. Look for things that we're not seeing to begin with. These were all not all that hard. But I think the same thing is true of almost everything we encounter. It's good for us to practice. Thank you.
Good morning again. Thank you, Reverend Barbara. I love those images. It does give you a lot to think about. At Reverend Barbara's suggestion, I'm delighted to share with you a story that we've used in church before in different ways. The story is Hide and Seek with God by Mary Ann Moore, but this morning I want to offer you this story as an invitation to meditation, to take the time to be still with just a few of the many and varied visions and ideas of God, the source, the spirit of life, that live in the hearts of the many and varied people that make up our movement and our world. And to make room in your mind and your heart for words and pictures and ways of thinking about the big questions that may not be your own. So I'll ask you to sit quietly, to take some slow, deep breaths, and as you exhale, consciously release your shoulders down from your ears, and then try and do that again on the next exhalation. You may want to close your eyes, or perhaps find a point not too far away on which to fix your gaze, and just be present with the story. Inhabit the story. Figure out who you might be in the story. Once upon a time, God said, "I'm bored because I don't have anything to do. I want to play with my friends." And because God is God, as soon as the words were spoken, God's friends were there. When God saw them all gathered, God said, "I've been bored because I haven't had anything to do. Let's play something." "Good idea," said God's friends. "What shall we play?" And God thought for a minute and then said, "I know. Let's play hide and seek." And the friends all said, "Yay!" They knew that hide and seek with God was always exciting and different, because God was the one who hid, and God always thought of wonderful places to hide. God's friends closed their eyes and counted to 10. When they opened their eyes, they couldn't see God anymore, and so they all went off to look for God. One friend decided to look close on the earth and soon came to a meadow. As he was searching, he stopped to admire the tender new sprouts of green grass pushing their way up toward the sun. And as he bent over to look more closely at the tender green, he realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about it. And so he jumped up and ran back to home base, calling out, "I found God. God is green and growing. I found God in the grass." Another one of God's friends decided to look for God in the night. She watched the sun go down and heard the workaday noises stop and saw the lights in the houses go out. And as it got darker and more peaceful and the night wrapped itself around her, she listened very hard. And then she realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about it. And when it was so still that she could hear and see nothing at all, she suddenly jumped up and ran to home base, calling out, "I found God. God is dark and peaceful. I found God in the night." The third friend looked on the earth and felt the mystery of the grass growing toward the sun. He stayed and watched the night come on and felt the mystery of the darkness and the stars. And he thought to himself, "These mysteries are special and amazing and wonderful." But when he finally came back to home base, he said, "I found wonderful mysteries, but I'm not sure if I want to call them God." My fourth friend decided to look for God where people were. He joined a group of people going home from work and went with them into the store where they bought food. He went with them back out into the street as they started for their homes, and he was with them when someone came up and said, "Please, I'm very hungry. Could you share a little food with me?" And the people readily agreed, and as he watched them share, he realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful about those people. He turned around and ran to home base, calling out, "I found God. God is love and sharing. I found God in people who care about others." And And finally, two more of God's friends decided to look for God together. And after a time, they came to a house and decided to look for God in the house. And in the house, they saw a room, and they looked for God in the room. And in the room, they saw a mirror, and they looked for God in the mirror. And as they looked into the mirror, they realized there was something special and amazing and wonderful being reflected in it. And they turned around and ran to home base, calling out, "We found God. We found God in us." And at this, God appeared again and said, "I had so much fun. Weren't those good hiding places? Some of you found me. Others weren't sure. Others are still looking. And that's okay, because the most important thing is just to play the game. Let's do it again. I'm sure we can think of some other good hiding places." And they all called out, "Ollie, ollie, oxen, free, free, free." And the game started all over again. So who are you in the story? Take that question with you into the silence.
Somewhere in the universe, someone else is listening to my prayer. Maybe I'm a lunatic, but I really feel someone is there. All alone and beautiful, like the moon, I'm searching for my twin. A cabin is my cubicle, but I know I have a place in heaven, somewhere safe and high, way up in the sky. There's a paradise that I found. What I'd like to find is that peace of mind, while my feet are still touching the ground. Somewhere in the universe, dreams go on so far beyond the dawn. I believe in unicorns. I can see one sleeping on my lawn. Somewhere safe and high, way up in the sky, there's a paradise I've found. What I'd like to find is that peace of mind, while my feet are still touching the ground. While my feet are still touching the ground.
If we were in what I will call typical time, back before the pandemic, when we met in person for church, a novel idea these days. We followed what we called pillars for study, and we moved during the school year through 5 general headings of Unitarian Universalist identity, Jewish and Christian heritage, world religions, peace, social justice, and the interdependent web, and personal spiritual growth and development. This season would be Jewish and Christian heritage. Miss Susan Story shared an idea with us that Father Richard Rohr put this way: the spiritual world is hidden and perfectly revealed in the physical world. How much of it do we see? How much of what we see do we really see? And how much of it do we hold as sacred? Our lives in this world are the revelation of all that is and has thus far been noble, worthy, and good. We are the unveiling. So why is it so much is still so hard to see? This week, my musings were set off by a quote that I received in a daily reflection that's sent out by the senior minister of the Unitarian Church of All Souls in New York City, Galen Gingrich. The quote was this: "What we seek, we do not find. That would be too trim and tidy for so reckless and opulent a thing as life. It's something else we find." That's from Susan Glaspell. For me, of course, the words, "what we seek we do not find," called to mind a passage from the book of Matthew, chapter 7 in the Christian Testament. "Seek and ye shall find." These are actually words among the things in the Christian Testament, not so many things in the Christian Testament, that a group called the Jesus Seminar, which was an American group of about 50 critical biblical scholars and 100 lay people, that was founded in 1985 by Robert Funk, and that did historical criticism and literary criticism and other things to try to decipher what parts of the Christian New Testament were probably something that the Jesus of Nazareth taught or said something like. That passage, "Seek and ye shall find," it's fleshed out a little fuller. It says, "Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you." That passage was among the things that the Jesus Seminar found very likely that Jesus had said. So in the Galen Gingrich quote, we don't find what we're looking for. And in the quote from the Christian Testament, if we seek something, we'll find it. Do we find what we're looking for? Have you found what you started out looking for? Do we even know what we're looking for? Can we actually see what we find for what it is? For all that it is? Might we be looking for something that feels lost? Or are we looking for something that may have eluded us our entire life? I recognize that with ever so slightly different language or tilt on the topic, I circle through these ideas with some regularity. In a sermon just this past March, I talked about the 13 biases that Brian McLaren had identified that each of us brings with us to our searching and seeing. Again, very quickly, they were confirmation bias, complexity bias, community, complementarity, competency, consciousness, comfort or complacency, confidence, conservative or liberal, catastrophe or normalcy, contact, cash, and conspiracy bias. If you did not happen to catch that sermon last March and would like a little more information about each of those categories, you can Google Brian McLaren and 13 biases and get a better fleshing out of each one of them. I also talked about in that sermon that Richard Rohr quoted a Latin phrase, quid recipitur ad modum recipientis. It means whatever is received according to the manner of the receiver. See, I don't think all those images we saw earlier of faces and objects and animals and optical illusions were all that special or different. So much of this life holds a broad variety of ways to be seen. We get pretty used to seeing things a certain way. We experience things a certain way and understand them a certain way. And just like with those images, the one we see first, or that might be easiest for us to see, can say a lot about us. What I see first when I encounter an old tree, how about is something beautiful, because I have some freedom of mobility and physical health. I can go outside and be standing, breathing the air that has become, at this point, a little less humid, and for me, that's a blessing. Feeling the breeze on my face, listening to the wind rustle through leaves that are starting to consider their change of wardrobe. I can hold gratitude for the shade from the branches and the symphony of the play it plays. But if I actually walk up to the old tree, put my hand on it, and allow myself to be present in that experience, fully present in that experience, it changes me. I don't feel the same with that experience that I did before it. The tree is giving relationship to me if I can find the way to accept it. And if this is true for a tree, wouldn't it also be true of each other being we encounter? Looking closely at the tree, I can see the story of its life, or a lot of the story of its life, the wounds, the heroic recoveries, decisions it has made regarding direction of growth. It will reveal itself as much as I will listen. Listening and observing people, we can most often learn or observe some of their wounds and recoveries, decisions they have made that have shaped them in their lifetime. In that understanding, we gain compassion. In that compassion, we heal the world. It's just like those blinking biases that trip us up, block our vision, cause us to see only part of the picture. I am so grateful that in a community of people earnestly endeavoring to evolve emotionally, I can work at growing. In that effort, more is revealed of me, of you, of those we share community with. I learn more about myself as well as those around me. I learn to be kinder to both me and others. I grow in my ability to see in multi-dimensions. And I'm not so stuck in binary, it's either this or that thinking. I can see the faces and the chalice sometimes at the same time. Holding the paradox, I teach myself new ways of discerning broader truth, bigger pictures along with the details that we only see if we look a little bit closer. My greatest hope for humankind and for the planet is the idea of truth coming ever more to light. Like Buddha said, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Again from Matthew in the Christian Testament, and again words that the Jesus Seminar found likely to be words Jesus said something like, this time from the Jerusalem Bible, chapter 10, verse 26. Do not be afraid of them. Everything now covered up will be uncovered, and everything now hidden will be made clear. From the book of Luke in the New International Version, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Sometimes the unveiling is very uncomfortable. Sometimes it happens a whole lot more slowly than we want it to. Doesn't mean we stop looking, does it? I think I agree, at least for today, with the Quaker teacher and author, Parker Palmer, his idea of what I seek in life and from life. Palmer wrote, for me, the heart of the spiritual quest is to know the rapture of being alive. And here is where I find Campbell, Joseph Campbell, incomplete. To allow the knowledge to transform us into celebrants and advocates and defenders of life wherever we find it. The experience of aliveness must never degenerate into a narcissistic celebration of self. For if it does, it dies. Aliveness in relational and communal, responsive to the reality and needs of others as well as to our own. Aliveness is that relationship. The celebration of self is only detrimental if it's done in a narcissistic fashion, myopic, looking at self only. While for the past year and a half plus, we may have been largely hidden from one another, I see you in your grace and your courage, and I am grateful for this community. Thank you for being such a large part of my journey. I do so hope that I continue to get better at life, at seeing, at discerning things hidden and shown. I'm going to keep on till I find it. I hope you will too. Our closing hymn is There Is More Love Somewhere. I hope you'll sing along with me. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more somewhere. There is more somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more peace. Did I do peace yet? Somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more love somewhere. It's hidden somewhere. Are you singing? There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. As we I was going to say distinguish our chalice, as we extinguish our chalice, let us carry the light within, and let us be revered in Thee, the faithful hope that still looks forward and keeps the life spark warm of future action beneath the cloak of patient sufferance. For all of us and the beloved community we build toward, I pray for answers that are hiding in plain sight, for the courage to look again, for eyes that stay fresh, for looking at things in new ways, and for children who will have the gift of vision to see through all of the emperors and all of their wardrobes, whether real or imagined. And whether we are looking for things we lost or for things yet unseen, May we always have the heart to continue seeking. Namaste, Ashe, blessed be, so be it. Amen. Have a nice week. Could you please help me find something I misplaced? Seems I saw it last on a stranger's face, like sunlight through the rain. I saw that look, a soul intact. I knew it well and I wanted it back. Chasing after rainbows, I strung luck along. Mostly got more than I gave. Is that so wrong? I know that I've been fortunate, but where in the world is that part of me that had all the answers and felt so free? The moon, I'll hitchhike to the moon. Open up my heart again, talk with my reflective friend. There beyond the weight of all the world, I'll find my way back home to this old girl. Maybe I like things with less gravity. No one's saying how things have to be. I'll rise up past the atmosphere, head straight for the shuttle's run, display my sign and stick out my thumb. The moon, I'll hitchhike to the moon. Open up my heart again, talk with my reflective friend. There beyond the weight of all the world, I'll find my way back home to this old girl. The moon,